Greetings, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we check out another indie game. This time we're looking at Forest Ranger Simulator. This game was developed by Virtual Magic and published by Freemind SA, the guys behind several games I've covered, including House Builder and Farmer's Father. Forest Ranger is a bit different to their previous games with more of an open world RPG approach. Now the game has you being in charge of a forest preserve. You'll go out and protect animals, remove traps, get rid of garbage, clean the forest up and eventually make it profitable. The game had some mixed reviews, but it's a bit of a rough gem for me and I'm really enjoying the campaign. Best of all, some of the sales from this will go to actual Forest Preserve charity, so go and check this out if you're interested. Let's have a look at Forest Ranger Simulator. Congratulations, you've become the winner of a prestigious nature knowledge contest organised by the Save the Forest Foundation. This is the beginning of your journey to become a full-fledged forest guardian. The state of theoretical knowledge is behind you, and now it's time for the first real test in the field. As the winner, you get an incredible opportunity. You're standing in front of the Forester Lodge, where you'll perform the duties of a forest guard. From now on, it's up to you on how you'll take care of the forest around you. Will you manage to turn this wild place into a nature park where tourists from all over the world will come? From today, everything is in your hands. Roll up your sleeves and get to work. The Save the Forest Foundation will be watching your actions closely. You can count on its support in case of problems. Good luck, we're counting on you. First thing we're going to need to do is get familiar with the garbage collection system in the game. It's a bit more complex than their previous titles, with a number of different categories, which we'll get into a bit later. We've got our Forest Lodge in front of us here. We're going to have to do a fair bit of work. It's in a state of disrepair, like most of the area. To get building materials though, because we are a conservationist, we can't just rip through all the trees like you do in other survival games. We're going to have to be careful. We don't want to damage the environment. We'll also get access to a car later on, much later, and we can buy and sell various items to get what we need and also to turn a bit of money in. Because as much as it is nice to protect the forest, we also have to make sure the place will turn a profit. We need to keep the animals in the park fed, birds, ducks and other wildlife. This will attract more people to the park. And we have to worry about hazards. Fires which are both maliciously lit and sometimes accidental, and traps which are left by the various poachers. We can finally use our workbench to build various things that will help the ecosystem. This is things like bird feeders, beehives, benches and tables for the guests to come and use, and things that will just basically make this place a nicer experience for both the animals and the guests. Our first task is to go out and get ourselves a bit of rubbish. It's been a long weekend, some people have been on a bender, so we're going to have to go and find, thanks to this handy dandy map, the nearest location of rubbish, and then on the way back we'll get ourselves some mushies as well. There are mushrooms around here that we can gather, we can learn about them, and we can also sell them for a bit of money. Now, oh, there we go, there's a little piggy on his way through the forest. Now, this game uses a colour-coded system, as I said before, and it's really well done. I've mentioned previously I'm a little bit colourblind. I have certain problems perceiving certain colours, and this game is pretty good in the way that it works. It's really, really well labelled. We've got metal and plastic, which I'm trying to gather. Glass is green. You've got blue for paper and cardboard, red for electronics, and finally grey for mixed rubbish. So this makes it really, really easy, and if you make a mistake, don't worry, because you can empty out the last thing that you picked up. You can see the colour of the bag in the bottom left hand corner. As long as that is yellow, I am golden. Now, we can't go around picking up everything because you can only have one type of rubbish bag at a time. Whoops, and you can see I made a mistake there. Let's dump that out. Beautiful. So we need 5 kilos of rubbish, and I will come back for this other rubbish later on. At the moment, we only have one dump site, which is our home base, so carrying bags and bags and bags is going to be inefficient, and it's not going to make us a lot of money. So we're just going to take what we can carry with us for now, and we'll come back for the rest later on. You don't want to neglect your rubbish collection because it's obviously not a really good look for the park full of rubbish, and some types of rubbish can harm the animals as well. But we've gotten rid of the worst of it. That's pretty good. So I'm happy with that. We're going to head back on home. Let's head home. Beautiful. Now what we can do is we can individually dump the rubbish in here, like so, or we can just do this. Now that is quite loud, and the quest notification is quite loud too. This is where we come into the first bug of the game. So the game has some really bad sound normalization, and it's actually the quest notification, the sounds for emptying rubbish in the bin. I've done a fair bit of work post-processing this video to make it a little less jarring, but it is quite loud. The game, this is probably the biggest issue at the moment. It's not a deal breaker for the game, but I really hope the devs can do something about those sound samples. Changing the volume settings within the game doesn't do much, and I even went into my Windows sound settings, and also after I did this video I did a little bit of post-processing, as I said, to make it a little bit less painful on the ears. There we go. So our next task is to fill that bird feeder, and what we've done is I just moved the feeder so that it's next to the base, just makes it easier for me. Fill that bad boy up and we're laughing. Next thing we need to do is get ourselves some basic tools, because I know in advance we're going to need a few things. We're going to need a fire extinguisher, we're going to need a crowbar, and we're going to need a couple of bags of these bird food. Grab 3. Beautiful. I'll grab a hammer as well. Oh wait, no, I'm going to grab a flashlight. So the flashlight's going to be really handy when it gets dark. Now while we wait for those things we bought to arrive, I'm going to place these old electronic items in here, because these items we can get a little bit of money for. And as you can see, I spent a fair bit of money buying those supplies. Money at the start of the game is pretty hard to come by, so anything that's going to earn us some cash, I'm gonna sell. We can't really use these, I don't have any practical application, so... Oh, there we go, there's my crowbar. Beautiful. So just chuck this stuff on the auction house. Gonna auction all these, just to help cover our costs. Beautiful. There's our crowbar and our fire extinguisher, which we're going to need. And beautiful. Now again, it's just certain sound effects that are quite jarring. The auction house, the the sound of quests being completed. Quite jarring, very loud. I'm just going to... Oh, I forgot the beehive. Let's go get that. Now, obviously, we didn't get a hell of a lot from that, but at the start of the game, we're pretty tight on money. And earned us a bit under 15 beans. And we had about $70, so... Not too bad, not too bad. So I'll pop this down here. Here we go. So the areas where we can get different hives are over here. Now, there are a few bugs in the game, but the sound design is definitely the most serious one, because it's very jarring, and as I said, there isn't any real way to mitigate it. Even if you were to turn the sound down for the game, all that does is actually mute the rest of the sounds in the game. So it's that particular sound effect. It doesn't; those notifications don't seem to be affected when you turn down the game's volume within the settings. There's a deer there. He's just chilling. Hello, Mr. Deer. So we're just going to chuck this beehive down. I'm going to try and at least get it. Oh, there we go. Ah, first time. So it is pretty hard to get the beehives to sit up straight. It doesn't matter as long as you get them in the area. They can be upside down. The bees don't care. They just do their thing. Okay, and I believe our next quest will be somewhere in this area. Okay, so somebody has foolishly left a campfire going, and, oh good, it's actually pretty close. So sometimes, I mean, these are random, so sometimes you can get a fire raging literally on the other side of the map, and you have to run all the way over, and hope that your fire extinguisher has enough materials in it. You'll see there's a little indicator in the left-hand side of how much fire extinguisher fuel I've got left. This thing's about half full, so I need to buy some spares. Beautiful. And we'll take care of it. Excellent. So earned us a little bit of money, 10 beans. Ironically, didn't even cover the cost of the fire extinguisher, but we'll head on to our next quest. So the next issue we have to deal with is poachers. Placing those traps which are potentially harming or killing animals, so we definitely want to do something about that. Most of these tasks, they will run on a timer. The longer that you leave them unattended, the more damage they do, and that damage comes also in the form of a monetary cost to you. So some hazards are worse than others. Rubbish, obviously, while it is a pain, it's not as bad as a fire going out of control. So let's go. There we go. It's one. So you need to use your scanning mode sometimes to find the various things you need to do. Turn on scanning mode. There's a second trap. Pickety bam. Beautiful. 20 beans, that's not too bad. Only cost me 5 or 10 for the crowbar. And luckily we also brought a torch, because it gets really dark and it's very easy to get lost down here at night time. Nice. So we now have to return just up the road here to check out the beehive that we set down, and hopefully that shall have, yeah, just down here, a bit of money for us. Now the next thing I want to do is, before we go there, I want to hit this, if I can, if there's a way across. I was going to hit that mushroom patch and get ourselves a bit of cheddar. Mushrooms in this game are very, very lucrative. They can be sold for a large amount of money. Some of them are as a food source, others have medicinal purposes. Nothing nefarious, of course, so they're not mushrooms in the magic sense. They're just regular ones that you can get and sell for for a bit of money. And one of the cool things is, which I'll show you in a second, is you'll actually learn a bit about how they work. So if we pick this up, this will tell us in the Mushroom Atlas. Oh, no. Maybe I'll need to pick up more. That's okay. So as you pick up more mushrooms, you'll get the Nature Atlas pop up, and it will tell you about the type of mushrooms you're getting. And some of the mushrooms have some fascinating information. Some of the poisonous mushrooms have different applications, whether they're for chemicals or medicine. Some of them you can just sell as straight food. But the more pragmatic side of me is saying I need money. So that is why I'm collecting these, because running a nature preserve, believe it or not, is not a cheap undertaking. So I think we've still got a couple we've missed here. So yeah, as long as that mushroom symbol is up, that means there's a couple here that we've missed. So I'm just going to have a bit of a peek around. We're using scanning mode. That's going to make it does make it a bit harder to see at night. So, there it is. Beautiful. There's a couple up here we missed. Oop! I dealt with the crowbar. They're not that far stuck in the ground. Oh, there we go. It's gone. Beautiful. Okay, so back to our original task, because I wanted to sell some of these mushrooms. They're very, very lucrative. Just a bit of extra cheddar for us. And we'll head down this way. Yep, beautiful, just over here. Across the forest path. Now, the next bug is the day-night transition. I'm just going to turn scanning mode off. You can see that it's quite dark at night, but the transition between night and day is very, very fast. So within a few seconds of night finishing, the soundtrack changes and it just goes back to daytime, but it's so quick. There's no gradual state of the night moving. So let's just see why I can't. There we go. Beautiful. So we've got a couple of different slots that we've got. You want to try and make sure you're traveling light, so don't carry anything you don't need, but you always want to have a crowbar, a fire extinguisher, and your flashlight, of course. So we're going to take this bad boy back home and see if I can head across here. Get a bit of money off this. Now you can see we're nearly up to $100, but if we get several things happening at the same time, so let's just say that we had 2 fires going at the same time, I could not, without the aid of a vehicle, reach both. So there are going to be sometimes we're going to lose money, so you want to try and keep a bit of a reserve there in case things go south. So I've got one more free slot, so I'm going to... Yeah, let's do it. We'll head down here, because there's another mushroom field. We'll hit this, and then we'll head back home. There we go. So we've got a new mushroom note here. There we go. So you can see this is the type of mushroom we got. This particular mushroom is poisonous. This type of mushroom is... So sometimes it tells you if a mushroom's edible or not. More importantly, these are all worth a fair bit of money. In fact, mushrooms are probably one of the most lucrative ways of earning money in the game. So best believe I'm hoovering all of these up. I just hope I've got enough space. That's it. That's all of them. Beautiful. Right, let's head back home. So we've got nearly 8 kilos of these mushrooms. It's going to be worth a fair bit of money on the auction house. And you'll see here this bridge is busted too. So at the start of the game, we're going to have a lot of these various routes broken. And as we repair the forest, we'll be able to get around a bit quicker. Oop, that bee's out of honey. So let's, for starters, dump that. Okay. That's going to be worth a bit of money. And, oh, the honey, of course. Oh, where'd the honey go? Huh, that's weird. Honey disappeared. Sure, I didn't consume it. It's not even showing on the map. That's strange. That's okay. Well, we'll have to wait for another honey batch to be available. And I'm going to... Last thing I'm going to do, we'll go and gather a couple of mushies. We'll go and gather some other rubbish. And then we'll sell that while we wait for the next beehive. And if you go to the map here, it doesn't matter if you lose a batch of honey. These will rebuild over time, so they'll refill. You will have to move them around occasionally, but that's fine. It's an easy and cheap way to make money. You just drop by every now and then, move the hive to a new location, empty it out, get some more honey, and you're good to go. So now we're here, we'll just gonna check out the most prevalent sort of... it's obviously glass. So let's start grabbing some glass, because this is worth a bit of money too. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you lose a bit of honey every now and then, although that's weird that did drop out of my inventory. You can't consume it. That's all metal. Again, you want to try and make sure that you're only gathering the right type of rubbish. So we'll go over here and look for some more glass. No, this is all paper. I probably should have gone for paper. Doesn't matter. Glass is heavy too, because you can't carry very much of it. No. Any rubbish sites near here? Yep, we've got one down here. Go hit that up. Just a bit of money while we wait for the beehive to refill. Oh, it's a blue bag. Okay. Oh, that's a bonus bag. 20 kilos. Oh, there we go. Yeah, well, let's take this back home. This will be 20 kilos of rubbish. So there are bonus bags to find around the world. These are worth an absolute mint. So we're gonna go and take this bad boy back home. This is going to earn us a ton of cash. And we've got 3 kilos of glass as well. So we'll make a fair bit of money from this. And hopefully by the time we do all this, the honey will refill. We've got another beehive that's on the other side of the forest, so either way we'll be able to go and get some honey. But this bonus bag, occasionally you'll find these big bags of rubbish around the forest, and if you can get them... Now make sure I put in the right one. So this is blue. Blue is... mixed electronics. No, we don't have blue. We don't have a blue one yet. I can purchase one though. Ah, here we go. So paper or collection. So let's go paper. There we go. Oh, okay. So that nearly burst my eardrums, but we got a cool $20 for that. What I can also do is we'll get the rest of this rubbish. There's nothing else to sell. Oh, we can get this. This old cabinet. Beautiful. So we'll go on the auction house. And we can sell our mushies and this cabinet, and that'll hopefully earn us a bit of money. Beautiful. So the next thing is to go out and gather some more honey, but I think we'll leave it at that. This should hopefully give you a bit of an idea on whether you want to pick up the game. Now, in terms of issues, the main problems are sound design, needs a bit of work. Transition from day to night, very, very jarring. The game could use some additional tooltips. Oh, there we go, $20. And yeah, it's just some basic issues with the usability in the game. With that being said, they're minor issues, and I still really thoroughly enjoyed the game. And if you do pick this up, it is going to a good cause. Some of the money from sales is going to wildlife charities. So if you are interested, there you go. There was the night to day transition there. Leave me a like, leave me a subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you went out and bought the game. Big thank you to my friends at Playway, at Freemind. These guys are really great, and hopefully we'll have a look at some more videos, some more games when they get back to me. So let me know if you're liking this, and if you want to see more of their titles, let me know in the comments, and hopefully join me next time when we look at another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.